भैया ज़िंदगी में बहुत टेंशन है, मैं ऑलरेडी सेकंड सेम पे आ गया हूँ, कुछ किया नहीं है, प्लीज़ थोड़ा सा गाइड कर दीजिए।
देखो भाई, अभी की इंडस्ट्री में सबसे ज़्यादा स्कोप कहीं है तो वो है कोडिंग में। तो अपन को कोडिंग ही करनी है। पता है कैसे कैसे पैकेज लगते हैं कोडिंग में? पिछली बार धुविक भैया का कितना का पैकेज लगा था? 60 लाख का। खैर वो लेड ऑफ हो गए, वो बात अलग है, लेकिन लगा तो था। और देखो मैंने भी 5 स्टार मेरी CP रेटिंग है, 1500 प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व की है मैंने, प्रो कोडर हूँ मैं, और फांग में तो मैं चला ही जाऊँगा। ठीक है, तो तुम भी प्रिपरेशन करो और तुम्हारी भी नौकरी लगी जानी है। देखो भाई, प्रेजेंट और फ्यूचर जो है वो है सेमीकंडक्टर इंडस्ट्री का। यहाँ कोई ले ऑफ नहीं होता और काफ़ी बढ़िया पैकेज भी लग जाता है। सही से पढ़ाई करोगे, सब्जेक्ट्स अगर पढ़ लोगे तो आराम से तुम्हारी नौकरी भी लग जाएगी। और यहाँ देखो कैसे मैं सेल्फ प्रेज कर रहा हूँ। देखो भाई, ये सेमीकंडक्टर इंडस्ट्री या कोडिंग वोडिंग ये सब करके क्या करोगे? बढ़िया से गेट की तैयारी करो, बढ़िया से अपने सब्जेक्ट पढ़ो। नए लड़के भी आए हैं मार्केट में, प्रेप फ्यूजन नाम से चैनल भी है इनका। बढ़िया अपनी PSU की जॉब लगेगी, लाइफ में स्टेबिलिटी, बढ़िया पैसा मिलेगा, और क्या चाहिए तुम्हें? देखो भाई, AI इज़ द फ्यूचर। रिपीट करो, AI इज़ द फ्यूचर। अब तो देखो गेट ने भी डेटा साइंस का पेपर लॉन्च कर दिया है। कौन सा ब्रांच है तुम्हारा? इलेक्ट्रिकल? छोड़ो इलेक्ट्रिकल, तुम केवल गेट DA का प्रिपेयर करो। क्यों? क्योंकि AI इज़ द फ्यूचर। बस। हाँ, क्या पूछ रहे हो? क्या पढ़ना है? अरे भाई, इंजीनियरिंग करने आया है यार तू, मौज मस्ती कर। पढ़ाई क्या होती है? देखो एंजॉय करो, अभी टेक्निकल फेस्ट आने वाला है, उसमें वॉलंटियर का काम करोगे। हाँ चलो, नौकरी वोकरी ऐसी लग जाती है।
फिर आपकी क्यों नहीं लगी?
क्या क्या बोल रहा है? मेरी क्यों नहीं लगी? इंट्रो दे।
So this is the scenario that most of the freshers have to go through nowadays, especially those who have just started their B.tech and are not from CSE branch. In the next part of the video, I have explained the pros and cons of each of these paths so that you can take an informed decision for your career. So generally what you should do is, whenever you are in a confusing situation, right? So what you should do is write down, like take a notebook and write down the pros and cons of each of those decisions. So generally whenever you're taking some decision in your life, right, it works in like that also, that you write down the pros and cons and decide accordingly, like should you choose that or not, should you go with that decision or not. So yeah, let's start with coding basically. So first, why should you choose coding? Like let's see the pros of this one, right? So generally what happens in the coding sector, right, and right now it is true that number of off-campus opportunities are much better than the other options present, like the electronics industry or the like the core industry, right, electrical industry, all those than all those options. This computer science has much better off-campus opportunities. So if you belong to a tier 3 college, right, and like you have a bit of interest in coding, obviously you have to have that, then you can choose coding, right? So basically you will get much greater opportunity of getting a job right after your college, right? So like in semiconductor industry, what happens is, like you have to be either from a tier 1 college or have to be in a college where the placements does occur, right? Or you have to give gate and then you will be able to reach a good college, and then from there you will be able to get placements. Or if you are interested in electronics itself, then you can choose like higher studies, then obviously you choose electronics. But if you are interested in getting jobs, right, then like coding in terms of off-campus opportunities are much more greater than the other options. Also, like in coding, right, everything is readily available online. Anything you want to learn, right, you can easily learn just by searching in YouTube or something. Everything is available there, just you have to search, right? But the problem is, like, there are so many resources, but you have to choose a correct mentor also, that I will discuss, right? So like in coding there are good growth opportunities. By growth I mean, like what happens generally is you can easily switch from one company to another company, or you can stay in the same company and learn a lot more, whichever one suits you better, right? People do both of those. So yeah, currently in coding, yes, there are good growth opportunities, and like as I said, right, you can easily switch jobs, right, from one company to another company. There are like it's easier for you to switch jobs in coding rather than in semiconductor industry or in electrical industry. Why? I will explain, right? Also, like a lot of new technologies are emerging, right, like AI, ML, data science, cybersecurity, etc. Like you can also learn those, and like you can also earn more, right? So here, like in these types of skills, you can earn more. But what you should understand is, simply learning few algorithms is not enough, right? You have to understand the mathematics behind this as well. So AI, ML, right? People just learn bit of algorithms and they tell that yeah, they are expert in AML. No, you have to understand the mathematics behind them. Then those guys only get paid well, right? So you have to understand the concept as well. Okay, just by memorizing few algorithms and coding bit of AML, that is not artificial intelligence, right? So it is much more deeper than that, right? So yeah, that is what this AIML is. So like in GATE also they have also released one paper, DA, like that. So you can check out our video on prefusion. So should you give that DA paper or not? What are the opinions of like us? You can check out that video, right? We have uploaded that in prefusion. I will add that in the link, right? Add that link in the description of the comment section, right? So now I explained why you should choose coding, right? So like you should also be prepared that in coding, right, mainly you will be working in private sector, not in the government sector. There are jobs obviously in government sector also, they are also increasing, but mainly, right, coding people mainly they work in private sector. So if you like that style, if you like that job role, so coding is good for you. So what are the disadvantages or cons of coding? So there is a bit of less stability, right? Stability, what do you mean? So as you see in news, or like you can see in LinkedIn also, frequent layoffs are happening. Like Paytm also laid off 1,000 employees. So yeah, layoffs do occur. That is not like that is not a lie, they do occur, right? But what is happening, you can easily switch, you can easily get to next company if you are skilled enough, right? You have to be prepared and you have to be skilled enough. Okay, then you can easily get into other jobs. And it is like it will be a lie that in semiconductor industry also there layoffs also there also occur, but compared to here, right, it is less. But there also hiring also is a bit lesser. Here hiring is much higher and layoffs is much higher, so it cancels out, right? So yeah, stability is bit less here, but like you have to be prepared for that. That is the con of this one. Work pressure, so like why I write in general work pressure will be more, right? So this is not applicable for everything, but in general what happens is in private sector there is a bit more work pressure than in government sector. But in few cases I've like asked few people who are in the government sector, right, they have also a very high work pressure, right? So it depends on your role and stuff, but still in general what I have heard from most of the people, right, your work pressure will be more. But like it's not like too much hectic, right? I have seen people, they are perfectly fine, they're managing their life and they're doing other stuff also, right? So you can handle it. It's not like too much, but it depends, right, on your job role and stuff. But it is higher, okay, in general it is higher. And resources, as I was telling, right, resources are abundantly available, but what is the problem? The problem is you don't have right mentor and guidance. So like you don't know what to follow, right? Everyone is like selling a DSA course for 10 rupees or 20 rupees, whatever they are, right? So you have to be aware, and you have to follow the right guidance. Recently GATE like launched a new paper, right, DA paper. So everyone just started to launch like their DA course and stuff. So just because like they were in some other domain, but they saw like yeah, DA is a very famous thing, everyone does coding, everyone wants to shift to this domain, right? So they just started selling their courses. So you have to be careful about that. Okay, so just follow a proper mentor, not just follow any mentor, right? So there are so many resources, people do tend to get confused. So it is like a disadvantage, you can say, like so yeah. Now lesser number of jobs in government sector, as I mentioned, right, there are lesser number of jobs, right? So one thing also you have to keep in mind, right, is that like only coding isn't enough, right? So if you are want to excel in your coding career, right, so you do in your computer science career, basically you only coding will not be enough. You need to have the problem solving skills as well, the analytical skills as well, and other subjects as well you have to learn, right? So only coding won't be enough. So other subjects like computer networks and other skills, right, you have to learn all those things. But they are easily available on online, but you have to understand that only DSA won't be like obviously DSA is important, but only coding isn't enough. You have to understand the other things also. Okay, so these are the like the cons of this one. So what you can do, so if you really want to shift to coding industry, right, and if you are in first year, right, what you can do is like you ask from your college, right, if you have the possibility of shifting your branch, okay, from non-CSIT branch to CSIT branch. So I've seen many people who have shifted from like non-CSIT to CSIT branch, and like they are perfectly fine and they have got a job and all those things. But if it is possible, okay, if it is not possible, right, and if you are from EC branch, then what you can do is like you ask your seniors how is the placement from non CSIT branch, right? So yeah, companies do come and they do take non CSIT branch, okay, but you have to ask your seniors. So what I have seen is like my college also and few other colleges also, like in my department EE, right, like 60 to 70% people they prepare for coding, right? Because the jobs are there more. That is true. Jobs are there are more on campus opportunity. I'm talking about and off campus also. So like you can also ask your seniors and like how is the placement and all those things like on non CSIT branch, and then accordingly choose your career path, right? So obviously I will talk about EC and like the double E in the next section, but here I'm talking about only the CS. So yeah, this is how you should do. Now what you should do is like if you are from EC branch, right, try to focus more on system level programming concept, like as they have present in EC curriculum. So EC, right, they have like EC is a mixture of both computer science and core electronics as well. So like software and hardware as well. EC is a mixture of all those things. So like if you want to shift to coding industry, so you focus on more software part rather than on the hardware part, right? So that thing you have to keep in mind. Now like also like take electives accordingly, but just be careful, right? You ask your seniors that whether taking those electives will be good for you or not. So in many colleges what happens is that like you just take the electives but they are not useful because the teacher isn't also teaching you anything, just you are giving the exam and that's it. You're not learning anything, right? You have to again go to YouTube and learn that only. So if that's the case, you ask your seniors, then you don't like you take the easy electives, right, which are easy to score, and you learn by yourself from YouTube or any other resources, right? So yeah, that you can do. Just don't take electives. Yeah, I'm learning this, I will take this elective and that is good, but that may be sometimes harmful also, right, for your time. So you can learn that on YouTube also and just score good in some other elective and yeah, get over the semester, right? So that you can do. Also you have to do coding related projects, right? You do coding related projects, so that will help you in improve your resume and all those things. Okay, ask your seniors about the coding placement, right? That is very important, who have prepared for coding. Also like what are the system level programming concepts, just like C++ is there in EC, right? DSA is there in EC, computer networks is there in EC, microprocessor is there in EC, digital image processing. You try to focus more on those subjects rather than the core electronic subjects like the analog electronics, the digital electronics, network here, all those things. Obviously, do keep it this in mind. You have to maintain a acceptable GPA, right? You just can't totally ignore those subjects. You have to maintain. I know this is difficult, okay, but you have to at least above 8 or something, so that like it is acceptable, right? That doesn't show you a like a bad impression of the interviewer, or if you even if you are going for higher studies, it is acceptable by the professor also. So it is important just to maintain a good enough GPA. Also you try to participate in coding competitions, all those things. So I know it is difficult for you to do all these things and like and also focus on your college. So what I will recommend is for tier 3 people, right? Tier 3, the college like headache is a bit lesser, so they try to focus more on this side and less on the college side. And for tier 2 tier 1 people, they try to focus more on the college side, okay, because they have the on-campus opportunity, right? If they focus a bit more on the college side, they will be easily able to crack a company on campus, right? So yeah, they do that one, focus a bit more on the college and bit less on this things, and tier 3 focus a bit more on this and bit less on the college things. So this is for the CSE. So now let's go to our favorite thing, that is the ECE branch, right? So like for ECE, why should you choose? Like what you will notice is most of your peers, right, they will be choosing either coding or something, right? Because like that has more jobs currently, but don't worry, this has also future, right? This is also future, and like government is investing, and like this is also a growing future, and like it uses technology, and everywhere we're using electronic component, right? So obviously it has high demand. If you're skilled enough, it has high demand, right? So but like you have to have interest in electronics, right? Else it will be a bit difficult, because like it has mainly on campus opportunities, right? Off campus is there, but it is bit less, more less than the coding part. So yeah, you have to have like interest in electronics. You try to study the code electronic subject and see if you are feeling in love with the subject or not, okay? So yeah, that is one thing. Now like if you are from a tier 1 college, then definitely you shouldn't be in doubt. You are, if you are interested in electronics and you are from tier 1 college, then you should definitely choose electronics, right? And like you will get on campus opportunities and good on campus opportunities, right? So this industry is going and they need skilled engineers. So yeah, so future prospect looks good for the VLSI industry. Right now it is slowed down a bit, that is correct, but obviously it won't be forever, right? So coding industry also has slowed down, but again it will pick up, right? It will pick up. So yeah, that is one thing. And like on campus competition is less compared to coding community, because like everyone wants to code, right? Everyone wants to code, so everyone will go for that on campus jobs. But here the competition is less, obviously the jobs are also lesser, okay? Jobs are also lesser. So that is main thing. Also in electronics, right, what is the con thing? Con is the basically it is a mixture of both software and hardware. So obviously you have to study both of them. So people what they generally let tell is that it is difficult to study, right? It is more difficult to study rather than the CSE. Okay, CSE branch is easier compared to this electronics. That's what people say. I don't say. Okay, so yeah. Now that's why this is like one of the cons, so you can keep that in mind. Now another thing is that you like if you're appearing for gate, like your core subjects will be clear, right? So that will help you be clear in your core subjects and like help in your semester also. So people do appear for gate, so yeah, that is one thing. And it is more stable compared to the coding industry. Why? Because like this is conditional, obviously. Like here also layoffs happen, that is not a surprise. But the thing is, if you like the skills that you learn, right, the skills that you learn are not that easily replaceable by the organization. In coding, what happens is that like every day some new technology is coming and everyone is able to learn that, right? So easily they can replace that person, right? Okay, but like this is not true for every coding job, but in general I'm talking about. But in electronics, what happens is in semiconductor industry, if you learn the skill that right, that is not readily available in the market or outside. So you learned it in within the industry itself. So they can't like they won't be able to easily replace you. Obviously they will be able to if they want to, but they won't be able to easily replace you, right? So it is more stable compared to the coding industry. So this thing also you can keep in your mind here, right? So now why you shouldn't choose electronics. So as I told, right, so that off-campus opportunities are very less. Okay, so they are there. Obviously I see LinkedIn posts like someone is posting for intern hiring and someone is posting for FT, but like in most of the cases they either they need experienced person like 2+ years or more, or like sometimes they hire freshers also. In coding, yeah, they hire more freshers, so that's why. So off-campus opportunities are less. Now like you have to give gate, right? And giving gate is not easy, right? So if on campus opportunities are very less, you have to give gate and you have to get into a top tier college, right? And then from there you can grab a good placement. Like I'm talking about placement only here, right? So like higher studies, obviously if for higher studies obviously you have to give gate anyways, right? So yeah, so that is like con. Like you have to study, prepare for gate, then again like you go to M.tech and then from there you can crack, right? Like the unlike the coding industry, you can directly crack it in off campus and give interview and get a company. Here you have to like give the competitive exam and then again study at M.tech, right? So that is one thing. But like that is also good. Like in M.tech you get to learn many things like in the electronics industry that generally isn't taught, right? Isn't available that online. Okay, so yeah, that is one thing. Now like here, right, as I told, all the resources are not available online which are used in industry, right? So like that is one issue with the like electronics industry. It is slowly getting available, but still it is not up to the coding industry level, right? Coding community level. So yeah, that is one thing. So these are the cons of electronics. So like you decide what you should do. I won't be able to tell what you should do, right? So you should yourself be deciding what you should do according to the pros and cons. Okay, so now coming back to the why you should choose electrical. Okay, why you should choose electrical. You should choose electrical if you have more interest in the core sector, like you want to work in the core electrical sector, right? Core electrical domain. And if you want to work in the government job, right? So for the government, if you want to work, so like why, like previous pathways also had government job, but the number is comparatively lesser than the electric. Okay, electrical, the number is comparatively lesser. So here the number of government jobs is more. Okay, and obviously if you are in a government job, right, it is more stable, right? So obviously here no layoffs happen. Obviously there is work pressure, you have to work obviously, but the layoffs, there isn't any case about the layoffs, right? So this is more stable compared to the other two industry. If you are obviously working in government jobs or in the core sector also, if you're working, right, there also it's similar like electronics only, that things aren't available that readily online. So the skills that you acquire, right, the skills that you acquire are like will not like they can't just lay off you just that easily, because the new person that will come in will replace you, will not be able to right away work, right? He has to also learn and those things, right? Those things aren't available online. So yeah, that is one thing. Now why you shouldn't choose electrical, okay, or why you shouldn't go ahead with electrical. So here, right, as I told, like off campus opportunities are very less, as I told, right? If like it is close to less, close to minimum only. Okay, if you have referral or something, then it is good, else it is very difficult. Also again, right, you have to give gate and like as on camp, if you're from tier 3 college, like on campus opportunities will be very less, right? So you have to give gate and again prepare and go. But if you give gate, right, you will get opportunity to join PSUs and other government companies, right? So that is also one like positive for this one. So I forgot to write the positive, but giving gate is good. Like if you are anyways from core branches like electronics or electrical, you should always give gate, right? If you're from CS, then I would say like think about it. It depends on your college and stuff. But if you're from electrical or electronics, you should give gate, right? So like cracking competitive exams is not easy. It's not a cup of tea, right? So obviously, you know, right, there is too much level of competition. It is lesser compared to EC, like the seats are lesser, but seats are more, but like it is still very, very difficult, right? So this is not a cup of tea, so you have to be careful about that, right? So here, right, the growth is slow. So generally what happens is like in private sector, right, if you keep on switching jobs, then your growth will be very, very high, okay? Or if you stay in a company and if you learn many things, right, in the company, the growth will be very high. But here, right, what happens is the growth is fixed, okay? The what I heard is the promotion is fixed, everything is fixed, okay? But obviously if you underperform, that will not you will not grow. But if you perform above par, the growth is fixed, right? That's what I heard at least, okay? So yeah, these are the things for between the CSE EE and ECE. So like all the best, whatever you choose, right? Whatever you choose, obviously like ये like मेरे लिए बोलना easy है कि like जो अच्छा लगता है वही choose करो. It's not that easy, obviously I understand that, but like at least you should think about it a bit, okay? You should see the pros and cons, whichever suits your lifestyle. On those things you think about it. Only like interest, obviously interest तो आनी चाहिए, लेकिन और दूसरे लाइफस्टाइल और भी चीज़ें देखनी चाहिए आपको कि आपको फ्यूचर में चाहिए क्या मतलब जिंदगी से, तो वो सब भी देखो, तो उस हिसाब से जॉब चूज करो, तो वो आपके लिए बेस्ट रहेगा, ओके? सो या, थैंक यू फॉर वॉचिंग, एंड आप कमेंट में सजेस्ट करो और भी क्या न्यू वीडियो चाहिए, तो आई विल प्रोवाइड दैट लाइक गाइडेंस ऑल दोस थिंग्स. थैंक्स.